Welcome to Missing Briefs. I'm Dominic, the founder and owner of Elevate Business Coaching, a Boston-based business coaching and consulting firm that specializes in working with law firms and their lawyers to build, manage, and grow successful practices.
And I'm Bob Furlong. I'm a certified exit planner. What I do is I work with law firms to help them create programs to attract and retain their best associates. And this ultimately creates a path for them for succession and retirement for senior partners.
So, Missing Briefs, what's it all about? Well, it's about exploring and telling the compelling stories or briefs of lawyers who have experienced significant challenges and successes in the business of law. What was their gap? What were they missing? What do they wish they'd known? Well, it's our pleasure today to welcome Amy Mariani. Amy is the founder and owner of Mariani Mediation. Based in Boston, Massachusetts, her firm specializes in mediation, arbitration, conciliation, facilitation, and case evaluation services. Mariani Mediation was founded in 2016 and has saved hundreds of individuals and businesses thousands of dollars, countless hours of time, and immeasurable amounts of stress. The firm has won numerous awards and accolades for their specialty in resolving disputes through effective and creative negotiation. Amy, how are you today?
I'm great, Dominic. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. We're so happy to have you here with us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. I'm excited to be here.
So, Amy, you have an interesting story and work in a particular practice area in the law. So let's get started, but let's start with kind of going back in time a little bit.
Sure.
When did it hit you that you wanted to be an attorney?
I was in the lab in seventh grade biology, and we were having a debate over, I think it was creationism versus evolution.
Oh,
Okay.
And I realized I was having tremendous fun. It was the most fun I'd had in the classroom in ages. And I said, you know what, this debate thing's kind of fun. How can I make a living out of it? And
uh,
that's really when the spark struck.
oh, that's great. That's one of my favorite movies. What is it? Inherit the Wind.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
the Scopes monkey trial, they called it back in
yes.
the 30s. What a cool thing. And so and and as you graduated law school and you were starting to decide what area of the, or maybe even before that, you started to decide what area of the law that you wanted to practice in. What was the motivation for you choosing I mean, mediation is the core of what you do, but what was your motivation to choose to do what you do? What appealed to
Uh,
you?
yeah, I tried cases for about 20 years, and I always knew that I wanted to go into the litigation and trial space dating back to really that middle school experience, because I enjoyed that part of things. And about 10 or 15 years ago, actually closer to 15, when I sent my kids off to kindergarten, and realized, at some point I'm going to be an empty nester, I started thinking about what do I really want to be doing when they're out of the house, and how do I want to be living life at that point in time? And as much as I love trying cases, as much as I love the courtroom, it's not an easy lifestyle because you are not in control in any way, shape, or form of your own time. So
Mm.
the number of times that I went on a business trip with my laptop, or a vacation that turned into a business trip with my laptop because a judge said, "Oh, you may have had this trial, this vacation scheduled for 6 months, but guess what? You're going to be on trial the Monday you come back."
Wow.
They're countless, and that's not how I wanted to be living in my 50s, late 50s and 60s. I wanted to still be professionally engaged. I still wanted to be committed to a profession and making a difference in the world. But at the same time, I didn't want to be a slave to the trial calendar. So that's when I started thinking about what other transferable skills do I have? How can I utilize those skills in a way that's going to still allow me to use the legal part of my brain, but maybe perhaps use my soft skills in a better and more efficient way as well. Mediation just seemed to be a natural fit.
Wow, that's great.
That's so interesting because, you said you had like 20 years of experience in the litigation. You did that, but it was actually your thing of actually thinking ahead. Like, what do I want my life to be like when I'm an empty nester, when I'm in my 50s and 60s? So it was a really conscious, forward thinking transition leap, which I don't meet many people that are actually thinking like far ahead like that. And the thing that you didn't like was time. Time was the trade that you were making. You wanted control of your time. And yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
and that was your motivation, if you like,
It
for
really
taking
was.
yeah,
It was. And, obviously there's a financial risk associated with leaving a law practice
yeah.
and, particularly one that had been pretty successful. But the trade-off of 4 or 5 years of not bringing in the income that I had been bringing in was insignificant compared to the ability to get control back over my life.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm,
yeah. And you said you were leaving a successful practice, and that makes it even more difficult. So you really wanted to have control um,
Right.
of your time. So, like, kind of thinking back to, you said, you kind of went out on your own on 26 in 2016. Uh, what were some of those key challenges in those first 1, 2, 3 years? What were some of the key challenges that you had going out on your own and in this kind of new, not new area of law, but like a new method of dispute? You repositioned yourself essentially. What were the key challenges?
First of all, I'm not a business person, and I had not put together the kind of business plan that really I should have had in place. I had a business plan, but it was not the kind of plan that you, Dominic, if I'd walked into your
Mhm.
office, would have said, yeah, this passes muster.
Yeah.
There were a lot of holes in it, and there were a lot of things that I learned by trial and error instead of thinking about them ahead of time and working with appropriate professionals to really triage what I should have
Mhm.
been triaging and diagnosing earlier. The second is I grossly underestimated how I would need to cultivate new networks.
mm,
The network that I had within the trial space was considerable, and I figured, well, I'll hang out a shingle, I'll make a bunch of phone calls, I'll go have a bunch of coffees and lunches, I'll
mm,
circle back to people every once in a while, and the work will come pouring in.
Mhm.
That's not the case. It required really meeting new people, introducing the people that I did know to a new set of skills,
mm.
and breaking sort of that mold they had put me into to be able to really develop the business that I have today.
Kind of like as you're talking there, I'm thinking about like, and this is, a lot of people have this thing. Well, it's obvious I've been successful here, so if I build something over here, of course they will come, right? And you mentioned there about having to retrain people, people who already knew you, like retrain and redirect maybe as to, well, I was doing this over here, but now I'm using the same skills, the same, but I'm using it in this capacity. So
Exactly.
a lot of
Yeah.
re-education. How difficult was it to you mentioned there about you had to access new networks. How difficult was it for you as somebody who maybe didn't have to do that previously, to have to now start to do it and also to some extent, the success of your business in in those early years was going to be somewhat dependent on your ability in that field.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing for me. And once I cracked that sort of nut, I realized, okay, there's a lot of potential here.
Mhm.
But when you have tried cases for as long as I have in the areas that I have tried them, you get perceived as being on one side or another. You don't
Yeah,
get looked at as impartial. And a mediator needs to be impartial. So there were people out there who I worked with
yeah.
on cases, had great relationships with, who needed to see I could be impartial. And the way that that happened was by working with people who didn't have those preconceived notions. And then I built a reputation with these new people that
Mhm.
started trickling down into the communities that already knew me. And that's now, I'm almost 10 years into the practice. It's only really within the last 3 or 4 years that I've been seeing cases coming in from people with whom I had relationships prior to starting my mediation
Mm,
practice.
mm.
Yeah. It's a long-term game, right? You said you
Yes.
start to
Yeah.
see it after, 6 years. Now you can kind of sit back and say, wow, it's finally starting. I actually
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
It's coming like that. That's terrific. And so if you could have done anything differently, and yeah, what would you have done differently if you could have?
I would have hired you or someone just like you, Dominic, because working with somebody who can show you what you don't know is
Mm.
critically important. I learned a lot of things the hard way by having something not work. And
Yeah.
I didn't have, and I think anyone who starts their own firm as a solo has the same experience, it's really kind of lonely. There's no one to bounce ideas off of. There's no one to really pick up the phone and say, is this a good idea or isn't this?
Yeah,
Until you develop that network of other solos,
yeah,
or until you find the professional resources that can help you make better decisions.
yeah. It's funny, sometimes I'll hear other people say, hey, it's lonely at the top, but actually, when you're a solo, there's actually nobody around you to your left or to your right that
Yeah,
you can ask, and you are the person at the top. So,
right.
it's interesting. So, okay, cool. Well,
Yeah, so I love when I hear people talk about the business of owning a law firm and the fact that it is a business, and I think that's great that you shared that. And part of the business is, who do you want to work with? How do you want to have them introduced? Because you want to work, I think all of us want to work with the right type of clients at the right time. So what is your preferred way for like another professional to introduce you to a client? How do you like to go with that?
Yeah, most of my clients are lawyers. So basically, what I love is if someone thinks that there's a connection that they can make for me, to say, hey, this person has this type of work that needs to be, or this type of case that needs to be mediated. Is this a good fit? And
Mm,
if it is a good fit, then a personalized introduction, either email or phone call,
mm,
is terrific. So typically the people who are looking to retain me are lawyers on behalf of their clients, in
mhm.
employment, personal injury, or business type of disputes. So if people can say, oh, you're having a problem with this business partnership or this employment relationship, why don't you have your lawyer giving me a call because she might be able to help. That's perfect.
That's great. And so a lot of us already know you. We know how to get a hold of you, but we would be remiss in not making sure that anybody who doesn't already know you, who has been, I don't know, they watching you is thinking, well, maybe I need to reach out to Amy. Amy, can you just share your contact information with us so anybody listening or watching can jot it down and actually, you might get somebody spontaneously that's not already in your network that wants to talk to you?
Sure. I can be reached either by phone at 617-279-0540, or actually the better way to reach me most of the time, because when I'm mediating, I don't pick up the phone,
Sure.
is via email, and that's A Mariani, Amariani, at marianimediation.com. And Mariani Mediation is basically one enormously long word. And if I'd thought about the business earlier, I might have chosen a different website name.
Yeah. No, that's great. Thank
there
you.
you go. So, Amy Mariani Mediation, resolving disputes through effective and creative negotiation. I'm glad there that you mentioned, Amy, about the specific areas: employment, personal injury, business disputes. Any others?
That's really the three key
Okay.
areas. Every once in a while, I get something different in, but oftentimes, if it's not a good fit for me, don't hesitate to give me a call. I have a very wide referral network, and
Mm,
I'm happy to put you in touch with an appropriate resource.
that's great.
Terrific. So, all those listening, you have free license there. If you come across something like that, reach out to Amy. She can help guide you. She mentioned there she's got a tremendous network of people that if she can't help you with, she probably knows somebody that does. Amy, thanks so much for spending time with us today, telling us about your journey and actually educating us as well on what you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, there you have it. If you have an interesting story to tell about the triumphs and trials of owning your own firm, or perhaps you know somebody else that does, please get in touch with us. I'm Dominic Grew.
And I'm Bob Furlong.
Until we meet again.